This video contains spoilers. You have been warned. So if you're one of those people that get all butthurt when you see something on the internet that you don't want to see because you shouldn't even be on the internet if you haven't seen it, turn it off now. Save yourself your agony of having it spoiled. Spoilers! You have been warned. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video on Reviews by Russ. Today's video, we're just going to be doing a quick recap of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, which actually is called Chapter 9, The Marshal. This episode, we've all been waiting so long, and it's finally here, something good in late 2020 to get us all in a little better attitude, hopefully. I really was pleased with this episode. It's a pretty long episode, clocks in around 50 some minutes, give or take when you take out the recap and the credits, but it's a nice long episode and you really feel like the story is well told and fleshed out. It doesn't seem rushed. It's not quick like a lot of the shorter episodes from last season. We actually get a nice chunk of Star Wars here. We start off with a lot of the stuff that we saw in the preview and the two commercials that we've seen for season 2 already. We start off in the place that we don't know, and unfortunately they do not drop the name at the bottom of the screen. So once again, which has been something that's happened frequently in this show, we go to locations that they don't tell us where they are, places we have not seen before to our knowledge. They go to a small town. There's graffiti all over the buildings, some little creatures hiding in the darkness with red eyes. They don't come out into the light. Kind of reminds you of what happened in the episode of Clone Wars when Sabine and Hera were trapped on that asteroid, and when the sun would be blocked out, the creatures would come out, and when the sun was there, then they would run away. So kind of that deal again, but we get to see the Gamorreans fighting that we see in the previews, that little transaction that's going on between Mando and the Cyclops looking guy. It goes pretty much like it does in the preview. They end up taking them all out. He's actually trying to get information to find out where he can find some more Mandalorians. We see that these creatures are like the ones in the Clone Wars, because after he captures this guy, hangs him from a pole, he shoots out the light and the creatures take him down. We then find out he sends him to Tatooine, which we've already been to last season, which was pretty cool. I like this season's version on Tatooine even better. We do go to the same spaceport in Mos Eisley, the lady with the pit droids, and she's going to work on the ship, help Mando out. He gets the speeder that he used last season to go find this Mandalorian that he's heard about on Tatooine, which, as we know, is not a Mandalorian. He's a local marshal who happens to have Boba Fett's armor, which we learn the story of Boba Fett's armor after the Sarlacc pit. The Jawas ended up with it, and on the show it explains how this marshal runs into the Jawas. He ends up with the armor, and he uses it to kind of run the bad guys off from his little town. It's a new little town that we haven't heard about on Tatooine, so it's kind of cool that they didn't really expand the universe, but they made the planet seem a little bigger. So we've got another settlement of people, and my favorite part of this episode is we get lots of Tusken Raider stuff, tons of banthas, Tusken Raiders, they're dog creatures. We get to see a little village. We see some of their larger weapons, some really cool giant crossbows that they have, because we all have to get together to fight a crate dragon. So this is, it's a lot of fan service in this episode, which I'm cool with, because for so many years Star Wars has been against the fans. It's nice, really nice to see them doing something for the fans again. We get to see what I thought was really funny. Another use for a gaffy stick is to keep Bantha's teeth clean, apparently. So that was pretty cool. We do get to see, like I say, some different weapons, some different locations on Tatooine that we're not already familiar with. It's a really good episode. Like I say, it's a small town and they're under attack by a crate dragon. So they team up with the Tusken Raiders and Mando and they go to fight this dragon. It's pretty cool. The crate dragon is much larger than the one that we see in episode 4, the skeleton in the desert, when 3PO is in the desert. That must have been a baby because this thing is humongous. It's a true beast. I won't spoil how they defeat it, but of course they do, or the show wouldn't go on. But anyway, at the end, we do end up, Mando gets Boba Fett's armor back, which is kind of confusing because, as we know, Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian. His father was not a Mandalorian. And from what we knew in the canon, it was assumed Boba Fett's armor was fake. In the show, we do see some blaster bolts bouncing off of it. So apparently, maybe it is real Beskar. They're going to have a real hard time explaining that giant dent in his helmet if it is actually Beskar. But I'm sure they'll get around to that. And then for all the Boba Fett fans, yes, at the very end of the episode, we actually see Boba Fett standing in the desert. Looks like he's just wearing some desert robes. He has a Tusken Raider rifle and a Tusken Raider gaffy stick. Looks like his face is a little scarred up. It's a very fast picture of him at the end. But for all you people that were wanting Boba Fett to actually be brought into the series, you got your wish. I was not one of those people. Boba Fett, as you know, was a very cool character, like when I was young, because he was very mysterious. Now that we've learned his backstory and we basically know he's just a clone trooper. There's nothing special about him. So it just kind of ruined his story. I know a lot of us wish they hadn't went that way, but it is what it is. Boba Fett was not a Mandalorian. We all know he's a clone of Jango Fett, just like the millions of clone troopers that are in the galaxy. You know that Boba Fett's an unaltered clone. He was not giving the growth hormones to make him age faster like the other clones were, but he's still just a clone of Jango Fett, who was not really that interesting of a character because he's not a Mandalorian. Supposedly, from what we know in the canon, he just stole that armor. I guess they'll delve more into that, or this could be it. Mando may just take this armor and chuck it in the cargo hold. We may not ever hear of it again. We may never see Boba Fett again, but at least we do know that now in the canon for 5 years, apparently Boba Fett has just been hanging out in the desert. Doesn't make a lot of sense. If he's going to try to get the armor from Mando, why would he not have tried to get it when just this Marshall guy had it? So I don't know. I hope that's just the end of the Boba Fett story. It was enough. We get his armor back. We see he's alive. We know he's just been wandering the desert. And that's okay with me if that's the end of his story. Probably won't be, but I hope it is. We need to move on to get these other characters that we've been teased about season 2, because we did not get any Ahsoka, Sabine, Rex, none of the characters that have been teased that may be in the season were in this episode. But it was a very good episode, kind of on the standalone side because it didn't move the overall story very much. Just a little bit, because we basically learned he's now looking for other coverts of Mandalorians, and he thinks that they'll be able to help him find the child's people or find the Jedi. But anyway, I thought it was a really good episode because I love just old school Star Wars and just a bunch of Tusken Raiders and Banthas. You just can't get much more old school Star Wars than that. And it's something that they've never really went into before. So it's really cool, in my opinion, to get to flesh out the Tusken Raiders and their culture and get to see what they're really all about, which is pretty neat. What do you guys think about this episode? I loved it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you care that Boba Fett's been brought in? Could you care less Boba Fett's been brought in? Leave some comments, questions in the comment section. I'd love to get back with you guys. This is definitely something for discussion. I'm very pleased that Disney Plus is only dropping these one at a time again, because it gives us time to digest and to discuss and actually enjoy this show, rather than if they dropped it all at once. Everybody watches it in one day. You talk about the next day and then it's gone. Who cares? This has happened to so many great shows on other streaming services. They just don't hold the interest of the public because they're just spewing it out at you so fast you can't even take it in and enjoy it. So I'm very, very pleased that they stuck with the once a week episode format, because it gives us an entire week to talk about this. speculate what's coming next, and that's what makes Star Wars fun. So if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you know when I got new videos out. Also, please hit that like button, and like I said, feel free to comment. I will definitely respond to any questions that you guys leave. I'll be seeing you again soon. If I don't have another toy video this week, I'll see you guys next week when I do my quick review of The Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 10. So looking forward to next week. See you guys next time, and may the Force be with you.